What's going on, everybody? Almost Counts Collectibles here, and in this video we are going to be taking a look at and reviewing a brand new toy line of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Now in front of me I have the new Power Rangers Reignition line from Playmates Toys. I have all of the male action figures, so we've got green, red, blue, and black. I unfortunately was not able to get my hands on pink or yellow at the time. We will review those in a later video. But we also have Rita Repulsa over here on the end that we're going to take a look at as well. So we're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to open these up. We're going to compare the packaging to other releases of the Mighty Morphin Auto Morphin flip heads from past toy lines all the way back to the original, and then the ones that Hasbro reimagined, and then to the ones that Playmates have reignited, if you will. So we'll take a look at that, we'll open them up, we'll take a look at the figures, we'll take a look at the weapons, for the most part anyway. We'll take a look at the Automorphin action, we'll take a look at the quality, the articulation, all that good stuff that goes with these figures. Now with Rita over here at the end, we're not going to have really a lot to compare her to because there hasn't really been a Rita Repulsa released in kind of this type of figure before. The closest one that I guess would compare to it, I'll show you, but she's just going to be a review in and of herself because I don't really have a lot of comparisons, but she is the one I am most excited about. So let's go ahead and get a little bit closer. We are going to start with Green Ranger over here. We'll compare, we'll open it up. We're just going to take a look at it and have a good time looking at this brand new toy line from Playmates Toys. So let's go ahead and get a little bit closer and get started. All right, the first figure that we are going to take a look at is none other than the Mighty Morphin Green Ranger. So first, let's go ahead and take a look at the packaging. Now, when it comes to the packaging itself, the colors, all of the Rangers helmets being featured over here to the left. You've got the iconic Power Rangers logo up here in the top left with the Reignition line right there at the bottom. Automorphin Green Ranger, it shows the automorphing function. We've got the weapons in here. So my only kind of, I don't really want to say it's a complaint because it doesn't really bother me, but I guess it would just be more of a critique because of preference. I don't like the opened bubble where you can touch the figure, where dust can get in there, things can fall down in there. Also on the back here, now they've obviously done this so you can try the toy out, which in their defense, you know, it entices kids a lot more to buy something. If you're able to go ahead and mess with it, play with it, you know, see what it does, especially when things have lights and sounds, being able to press the button and make it work. So I get that from a retailer's, you know, standpoint. Someone trying to sell something, you know, as a toy company, I get that they would want to do that. But as a collector of sealed and opened items, I don't like my sealed items having large openings in them. So that's just more of a personal thing. I don't really care for the window, but to each their own. That's not something that would have ruined the toy line or anything for me. Like I said, that's just a personal preference. For ages 4 and up, not for children under 3. We've got all the warnings on there. So let's take a look at the back here. Over to the left, we have the story. The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers are 5 ordinary teens chosen to receive amazing abilities. They summon the spirits of their mighty Dragon Zords and morph into incredible Power Rangers. When evil aliens loom large, the Dino Zords combine to form an even more colossal battle machine, the Megazord. Now, over here, we have a description of the Green Ranger himself. Originally cursed by Rita Repulsa, Tommy has turned to the good side. Using his formidable martial arts skills and his power shield, Tommy helps the Power Rangers when things get tough. His signature weapon is the Dragon Dagger. As a Power Ranger, Tommy draws power from the Dragon Zord. Name, Tommy Oliver. Skill set, martial arts black belt. Personality, helpful. Weapons, Power Shield, and Dragon Dagger, and the Dino Zord is the Dragon Zord. This is all kind of cool. I kind of like that. Personality helpful. I don't know about that. I think there's a lot A lot of other personality traits that could have been attributed to Tommy Oliver other than just helpful, but whatever. So we've got head flipping action, press the lever on the back, collect all the Power Rangers and villains. So right here it has all the Rangers listed in the little display window down here, the little advertisement. And then we've got Rita Repulsa, Goldar, and the Putty Patroller down here. Now, in just about all of, at least I'm going to say the American releases, I've only pretty much seen people able to get their hands on the male Rangers, the 4 male Rangers, and Rita. Now, I have seen some pictures in stores that had yellow and pink, and even Goldar, I believe, but I want to say maybe those were overseas. So I'm in America. I think those might have been like in Europe. They're already getting all of them. I'm not sure. I don't know if they're doing this in waves or if maybe the first shipments to America, or at least most of American locations, just haven't received the other figures yet, but they'll be coming shortly after. I'm not sure, but it would make sense if they did that. Reason being, history has shown that the female Rangers don't sell nearly as well as the male Rangers. So maybe they're just getting an initial test phase out of the way to see just how good these do if they just release the more popular male Rangers and Rita Repulsa. I don't know, maybe it's just like a little test thing. Even if it's only like a 30-day window before we see the other ones, I'm not sure. I'm not going to say that's actually what they're doing because I don't know. But it would make sense if they did that, and it would explain why we don't see the female Rangers or the other villains. Now, I will say the same thing with the Megazord. Pterodactyl and Mastodon, I believe, I haven't seen pictures of yet as far as people actually finding them in stores. I've seen T-Rex, I've seen Saber-Tooth Tiger, and Triceratops. But I want to say I haven't really seen any pictures of the other two. Now, with the Megazord, and the reason why I haven't even bought the other ones yet, I could, well, my wife got these. She said she could have got off of the website the T-Rex, the Mastodon, and the Triceratops, but the other two weren't on there anywhere. So we're going to wait until we can get our hands on all of those, because it doesn't make sense to do a Megazord review if you can't even make the Megazord. So I'm going to wait on those, but let's go ahead and get into this. So overall thoughts on the packaging. I think it's okay. The packaging doesn't bother me. I think it's better than Hasbro's attempt at this. So this was Hasbro's kind of reimagining of the Automorphin Rangers. Smaller packaging. You know, went very basic with it. You've got the traditional colors. It's like half the size of the original card. It just shows, you know, what the head sculpt looks like. You get the Ranger in there, and then it's got that iconic, you know, this looks very similar to what the bottom of the original card looked like. They went more of kind of a copy of that. Nothing new, nothing flashy, just kind of making it look like the original retro Automorphin figure did. And this wasn't terrible. If the figures would have been good, I would have been perfectly happy with this one too, to be honest. But these figures were just terrible. So yeah, here's the back, and this one officially was in waves. As you can see, this was the second wave of figures right there. But there is the Hasbro packaging. And then let's take a look at the original packaging just for comparison, because I'm not in a hurry here, and we actually have some new Power Ranger stuff to look at and talk about. So let's do it. All right, so here is the original Green Ranger from back in the early 90s. So much larger card for comparison, almost half as tall. To be honest, it's almost just as wide as this one. I love the original packaging, mainly just because of memories and stuff like that. And the Hasbro one tried really hard to copy that as far as looks went, and I was fine with that. Now, if you ask me which one I prefer, naturally, I'm going to go with the original one. It was kind of basic, but it stood out. It's very iconic. I like the original packaging, but I have to say that I don't hate the new packaging. I don't. I got to be fair. I just think this is the second best one. I would prefer this over Hasbro's, just in, you know, looks and creativity and colors and all that stuff. I think it is. I think it looks pretty good. Let me know what you guys think about it. But now that we've looked at the packaging, oh, and right here was the back of the original one. So there you go. We've got the story. Now, the one thing I am going to critique this hard, guys. I'm just going to go ahead and get it out of the way. The original weapons combined to form the Power Blaster. Okay. The Hasbro released toy line. The weapons. Oh, sorry. Hold on. That's Tommy. You're not going to see it on that one. All right. So Zach here. Okay. Weapon. Guess what? They went together to form the Power Blaster. Guess what the new ones do not do? Yep, you guessed it. The weapons on the new one, you don't see a picture of that happening on here. So this is Red Ranger. Because they don't. They don't go together to form the Power Blaster. We'll talk more about that here in a second, but that was a big fumble, I think, on their part. All right, let's go ahead and open this up and take a look at Green Ranger. I'm not going to fast forward through this first one because I want you guys to see how easy it is to, or how hard it is to open this. I don't know, it's the first time opening one. All right, the card came off pretty easy. If I would have wanted to, I probably could have even saved that to be in pretty good condition. So far, that's good. All right, then the bubble just slides right out of the front protector shell there. I like that. All right. Okay, here we go. So it looks like we've got 4 little bands on here. Why I didn't bring my scissors over here, I don't know, but I guess I figured I wouldn't need them. All right, this right here, I am gonna grab my scissors just because I don't want to tear this up. I don't like this. I don't like when things are affixed inside of here. This being inside of this, glued to this, should have been just fine to... I understand they might not want this falling out around inside. Okay, fine. At very least, do the weapons that way. I don't think the Green Ranger was really going anywhere. But I just don't like when they do this. But let me grab my scissors real quick and I'll cut this stuff out of here so we can get on with the review. All right, and we're back. Looks like we even have one around the waist right here as well. All right, finally have our Green Ranger out of the packaging. I will admit, guys, that was very annoying. I don't like it when they do that stuff. But anyways, all right, first impressions here. First, let's mess with the auto morphing function. All right, so I like the operation of it. The lever is easy to grab a hold of, you know, press down on. It is a pretty good spring push effect there to get the head to flip up. It is very loud. But all in all, I kind of like it. I think it works well. Very good. You don't have to reset it like the original one. This is more like the Zeo automorphin figures, which was the continuous thing. So yeah, good on you, Playmates, for making that a very smooth operating function. And it's not really messing up. I'm trying to get it to like make a mistake, but it's not. All right. So the automorphing function is good. I like it. The overall look of the figure. Now, Tommy here actually doesn't look that bad because of his dragon shield. The dragon shield's, like its symmetry helps kind of offset the bulkiness of the torso. So it doesn't look as glaringly obvious that the torso is very thick compared to the arms and the legs. So Tommy is probably going to end up being the better looking of the Rangers because of that fact, in terms of just visual appearance. Now, one thing, oh boy. All right, so the shoulders here. You no longer get the kind of ball joint shoulder so that the arms can actually go up and down. All they can do is spin around 360 like this, straight up and down. The shoulder it's just a fixed piece, it doesn't move. The fact that the dragon shield is a part of the shoulder, so if I wanted to pose him up like this with his dagger, kind of in a slicing motion, that's going to look really ridiculous. So I'm not a fan of that. Yeah, I don't really like that. The helmet looks kind of small. In proportion to the rest of the body, the helmets look kind of tiny. The civilian head doesn't look too bad in terms of size, but the helmet just looks a little small. The morpher here, so I can see, if you guys can see that, there is an outline of the dragon coin. It's not great. It looks like it's not even completely finished in there, but you can see that it should be there. The morpher though, so this first outline right here at the edge should be the morpher. The morpher is essentially black. It should be a gold color. I'm not going to critique it too much on that. Even the original ones just had, you know, the silver plate with a red dot in the middle. But the molding and everything there is good. I can take a gold paint pen and clean that up and, you know, fix that. The holster is white. Tommy's holster should be black. Even the Hasbro Automorphin one gave him his black holster. Now, the original one did not. So right here I have my original Tommy Oliver Green Ranger. It's got a white holster. So I'm not saying that there's a perfect version of this toy and that's not it. I'm just saying that, you know, it's been it's been several decades. We know that his holster should be black now. And it's an individual piece. That's a separate plastic piece. It's not like they would have had to do much with all the belts and made this one special. You know, I felt like they could have just put a black holster on there. Once again, just a critique. Some kids probably won't care. My kids notice things like that though, because they are Power Ranger fans. So they're, you know, why does he have a white holster? You know, I always get questions like that, especially with the older toys and things of that nature. So, should have had a black holster, but moving on. The legs. So the leg joints actually have a lot more mobility here, especially at the hip. We've got the butt mold here at the back that keeps the leg from really going back too far, but oh, well, looks like he just broke his leg. He's out of the fight. So if you want to keep his leg straight, that's about as far up as it can go before it hits the molding right here. A side kick. Oh, okay. So you can't keep the leg facing forward and bend it up. It has to turn to the side and go up. So he can't really even do... Can't even do a side kick? Come on. You're going to have to bend his thigh to the side, twist this back forward. You can do somewhat of a side kick. You just have to turn the thighs all the way this way to do that. To try to get a kick right there. Oh man, that's very limited mobility. Right here at the knee, it does swivel all the way around. The foot swivels all the way around. But yeah, that, because see, it's not, if you guys can see the little peg up in there, let me see if I can get it at an angle maybe where you can actually see it. But it, let's see. It's not showing up in the camera very well. Right there up in where my fingertip is. The peg goes up and connects to the torso. It doesn't connect right here to the side. So that's why it's really awkward about how you can turn it. See, as I'm swiveling it, you can tell that it just goes straight up into the torso right there. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't like that. I was expecting a little bit more, at least in the legs, for mobility. Now, in all fairness, the original toy did not have very good articulation. But first, so let's compare it to Hasbro's, okay? On Hasbro's, so for example, look, I can't even do the splits. I'm gonna have to turn the hips to move the legs. And like I said, that's about as much as you get right there. With Hasbro's, you know, it was connected at the side. So you could almost do a kick straight up and down if you really wanted to. But at least you could do an effective side kick with where they put the joint. This one spun around at the knee. It also went, you know, back and forth. The foot did not swivel on the Hasbro one. But with all this extra movement in the hip, you kind of didn't need the foot to really move because you could move everything else into position. Now with the Hasbro one, you could also put the arms all the way up and down and spin them around because once again, how they were connected. Now, if this shield would have been a little wider and not had such a big a gap up here at the throat and stuff, at the neck, this shield would have looked pretty good. This figure wouldn't have looked half bad, at least for the Green Ranger, like I said, because the shield would have offset some of the bulkiness of the actual torso here. With this one, the head flips forward. Sometimes this one messes up. See how it wasn't flipping over? So like I said, I do like the auto morphing function on this one. It is louder. This one works better though. But as far as articulation and actual playability, this is actually a pretty good step down from the Hasbro one. I mean, the Hasbro one, you know, you could put it in a lot of different poses. Heck, you could even do the splits if you wanted to. And as far as playability goes, I mean, that's what you want. This kind of articulation and a few paint applications combined with the original toy would have made the best version of this toy, which is what I was hoping for from Playmates. I thought they would take what had worked and what it didn't and kind of figured it out. Well, it looks like they tried to take maybe those two things and put them together, and they just didn't execute it properly because, yeah, as far as playability goes, this one is not as good. This is not as good as the Hasbro one. Much better articulation, much, you know, much more fun to play with as far as actually fighting when you can actually do these cool moves and do the splits and, you know, do a backflip or something and actually put his hands out and make it look like he's, you know, doing a backflip, you know, all that cool stuff that kids like to do. I like to play with action figures with my kids. I don't want some stiff thing that you can barely move. So this right here, I was hoping for a little bit more, especially out of the legs, but this limited mobility in the shoulder, and this is actually kind of hard to turn. And this much more limited than we had before leg move. This is very awkward. Like this right here is, I can see a kid breaking this. If they don't realize that this isn't supposed to turn this way and they're just trying to force it up, they're going to snap this peg right off. The durability of these toys is what I'm really going to be curious to see. The quality. The paint applications. Let's talk about paint. Overall, not bad. Okay, Green Ranger, obviously. But even the Hasbro version painted the golden rings right here on the top of the boot cuffs and the gloves. We didn't even get that on here. Now, for someone who cares about that stuff, yeah, it's an easy fix with a paint pen. Just take it around there, which is what I'm going to do when I display this. And then the morpher right there, I feel like those were an easy kill though right there. You know what I mean? Like that should have been pretty easy to knock out. Did they really save that much more money by not painting 4 little rings and not giving a black holster? I mean, it's little things like that that Power Ranger fans, you know, those are the things we notice. Those are the things we want to see. Kids are fans too. They notice these things. It's not just adults. Yeah, so guys, I'm trying to be as fair as I can with this stuff and try to, you know, I realize that some of these things are more of an adult point of view on things like that. I get that. I get that this is a kid's toy, okay? Obviously. But my biggest complaint with this figure right now isn't what I thought it would be as far as the bulkiness, at least with Green Ranger, because like I said, it's masked pretty well. My biggest complaint right now is from a playability standpoint, and this articulation, this limited mobility, I mean, I understand they're used to making Ninja Turtles, and let's be honest, those $10 Ninja Turtle figures, and I can't even move this shoulder. Oh my goodness. Those $10 Ninja Turtles are not the most articulated thing in the world, okay? But they've been like that since day one. Ninja Turtles was never really known for articulation. But Power Rangers, you know, we have many, especially the old toy release, especially the 8-inch Rangers. I think those were the most articulated you could possibly get, even by today's standards for a lot of things. I mean, you got the fig arts and stuff like that that are very articulated. But as far as a kid's playability, you know, we've seen different versions of this with much better articulation. And to release a kid's toy that can't really be played with in terms of martial arts fighting or something, I can't even... This right here is blowing my mind right now. The fact I can't even open the legs for a kick, like this is the best you can do without like... Can you imagine a kid having to readjust all of these just to do a simple kick? Oh man. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, let's face it, the old one, okay? The old one wasn't known for articulation, but even on it, his was a little harder with the shield, but you had full mobility in the arms to go all the way up and down. It spun around, it spun here. You had the auto morphing feature here that, you know, you had to reset it every time. You know, it was a simple little thing, and then, you know, reset it, take it, oh, he's out of action, now he's got to morph back into action. And then these, you know, legs only went up at the front and bent at the knee. But, oh man, I'll still take this hands down. I'm sorry, I'll take this hands down over this any day. And yeah, I'm an adult, but I guarantee you my kids are going to feel the same way. All right, let's go ahead and just kind of stand these next to each other and get a look at them here. All right, so the new one here is a little bit taller than both of the other iterations of this. And as you can see, it almost even rivals the Hasbro one on like width, especially right here at the upper torso. These are, yeah, this one's actually bigger. In the upper portion, it's bigger. The legs and the arms, honestly, on the new one would have looked fine as far as bulkiness goes, but they made that torso very large, and I feel like it's not needed. Like I said, the original ones did it, and they don't look like these super thick Power Rangers, okay? They still looked pretty slim, like martial artists, all right? Say what you want about that, but, you know, it plays a role in it when the figure doesn't even look good. So, yeah, there you go, guys. That's Green Ranger. We will take a look at his accessories. So you get the Blade Blaster here with the open blaster form, which doesn't make much sense for Green Ranger. Then you get the blaster right here in blaster form. I do like that these are colored, for the most part, pretty spot on. Yeah, it's missing some silver and stuff like that, but the two basic colors are there. And they look pretty good. You know, I don't mind the blaster. It actually looks decent. Let's compare it to Hasbro's blaster. And then we'll compare it to one of the original Mighty Morphin blasters here. All right, so the new blaster, okay, like I said, it looks pretty good as far as the paint, details, the indentions, everything's on there. Looks pretty decent. It doesn't have the gun barrel sticking out at the end right here. But here is the original Power Blaster. Let's get a look at size here. So it is much smaller, okay, than the original one. The original one with a little bit of coloring still looks good though. And then this is it compared to Hasbro's Blade Blaster. Now these look to be pretty close in size, okay? So if you overlap these, the size is pretty close. Now, you can see the obvious differences. All right, so the Hasbro one has the section that comes back and almost touches the teeth right here. This does not. It also has the little hole right here. This does not. So the Hasbro and the original, although the Hasbro one was smaller, they look pretty identical in terms of like details and overall design. And then the new one right here is a little bit smaller, and it's fairly different. And then in blade form, you can tell that it is much, much larger than just the pistol. It is a lot thicker. Let's go ahead and put this. Can you hold on to this pretty good? Let's see. So I've got it like this, although technically that's not how he's supposed to hold this. The top part's kind of more of a hand guard, but I honestly don't know if that's going to go in there. Oh, okay, so it did. So there's Green Ranger holding the blaster in blade form. Once again, this shoulder thing is really messing with me. You can't really do much and still make this look good. Okay, it wasn't too hard to get into his hand. What about the blaster? Let's check that out. All right. Looks, I'll be honest, that looks kind of small. I mean, I guess it's all right. I feel like maybe the blaster should have been a little bit bigger. I'm just kind of thinking in terms of how easy is it for a kid to put these weapons in and out of the hands without breaking a finger, breaking the weapon. All right, now, the Dragon Dagger, okay? The Dragon Dagger doesn't look bad in terms of the design and the details, but the paint. Why solid gold with the silver blade? If anything, it should have been black with the silver blade. Yes, it has some gold on it, but I just feel like this doesn't look right. I mean, that's just me. I don't know why they went that route. Let's see. This handle is pretty big. I mean, that thing is thick. How easy is it going to be to get this in there? All right, I feel like you're not. Look at the buttons on this thing. So that handle's already really thick. And then you've got these, the buttons for his flute. Those things are sticking out pretty far. You're going to have to just kind of put it like this and have the buttons kind of sticking out. I mean, it stays in there, I guess, pretty good like that. But for him to hold this, you're going to, if you try to get these buttons under these fingers, I feel like you're going to break those things off easily. I mean, look how much that one's bending just going by the thumb right here. I feel like you're... Oh, man. Can we get it? Okay. All right, I got him to slide under there. His thumb's barely holding on right here. Yeah, I don't know about that. You're definitely not going to be able to... Here's one of the biggest things. Like, you want to be able to make it look like he's playing the dragon flute, right? But you can never really bend it up there to make it look like that. Like, there's no way I'm really gonna be able to get his arm up here to look like he's actually playing the dragon flute. I feel like this is about as close. It's about as close as you're gonna get. Yeah. Anyways, the dragon dagger though. So here's the original dragon dagger. And here is the new dragon dagger. Like I said, overall, I mean, I wish the handle would have been just a little bit smaller, or at least these buttons been cut off much shorter down, which, I mean, I can do that. And then this definitely needs to be colored in. But yeah, there's the dragon daggers. The dragon dagger on the Hasbro one, I couldn't find some of my weapons. It was solid black, which, like I said, made the most sense because you can easily paint the blade silver. It's not that much. And then the little bit of gold details on there, and you pretty much got what the dragon dagger looks like. So I figure they should have went with black and silver instead of gold and silver, but that's just me. But that is Green Ranger, okay? This articulation and stuff like that is really annoying. I never thought I would say that the Hasbro version was going to be better than this. I mean, I didn't expect much out of these, and to be honest with you, I was going to pass these up for a while. My wife just happened to get them because she wanted me to be able to see them and, you know, do a video and stuff on them. But in terms of playability and actual function, this right here, I think, would be much more fun for a kid than this thing. I mean, I think these are going to break, but you just can't really, you can't really do much. I mean, to say that the original Green Ranger, you know, has more mobility than this thing does, that's crazy to me. I was at least expecting a little bit of better movement. I mean, all this down here doesn't really mean nothing, except for looking like he's got a leg that's been snapped in half. If this up here is very stiff and hardly moves. There we go. Do a back kick. Yeah, I don't know. I'll leave that up to you guys. I'm just trying to give you the information. But so far what I'm seeing, I'm not liking that too much. But that's Green Ranger. All right, let's go ahead and set Green Ranger aside, and let's go ahead and move on to Red. All right, next up we got Red Ranger. I'm not going to do too much in terms of looking at the packaging other than what's right here. It's pretty much all the same. So let's go ahead and rip Red Ranger open here and take a look at him compared to the other ones and see what we've got. All right, now we've got Red Ranger. So, overall, I must say that the fact that they kind of put a little bit of curvature right here going down, it makes these look a little bit better than I thought they would as far as the bulkiness goes. Now, I still feel like the torso area is too big. Don't get me wrong there, but you can tell like the overall thick like blockiness look to these because there wasn't a lot of curvature or anything to kind of blend it together. You can tell that these actually look, they don't look terrible, all right? In terms of just standing here, they don't look terrible. I do feel like their legs look too small for their bodies and all that good stuff, but not as bad as I thought they would be. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at Jason's head sculpt. Much like Tommy, I don't expect a lot out of these head sculpts. I'm not going to critique it too much. I feel like, you know, that looks like Jason, so not too much critique there. Say what you want about them. But what I am noticing more on the Red Ranger than I did on the green is it looks like there are a lot of imperfections in this paint. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see it, but there is a lot of like lines and scuff marks, and maybe you can kind of see it there reflecting in the light. It's a lot more visible to me than it is. You can clearly see these lines. It almost looks like someone, you know, used a hand brush to paint on there and it's a little thicker. I mean, it's all over the place. That's kind of weird. There's also these lines in the diamond here. You can see one there. You can see one here. The cutout around the diamond is very uneven and up and down, especially right here. You can see it looks very sloppy. I will say that. In terms of like quality control, maybe, I don't know. But that's pretty obvious to me. I don't know if you guys can see it that well. Yeah, I don't know about that. All right, let's look right here. Now his coin almost looks like the dragon coin. You guys see that? It looks like the dragon footprint, just like Tommy's. That doesn't look anything like Tyrannosaurus. So that's kind of weird. Here's the back. You've got the screw right here at the butt plate. Once again, the helmets. The helmets just look too small to me. Noticeably small. And as far as articulation and stuff goes, guys, it's the same thing with Green Ranger. The only thing is you don't have that odd looking shield portion right here that goes up and down with you. And this one's actually easier to turn than Green Ranger, I'm guessing because of that. But everything else for the most part, and here's a bunch more lines and everything right here. I don't know what's going on with that. The only thing I worry about, like I said, is this articulation. These are going to get broken off. I just feel like they are. I mean, only time's going to tell. I'm really unhappy about this shoulder thing right here. Now with Red Ranger, that might make it a little bit better, like I said, because of the dragon shield. Okay, we can slash with the sword. We can block a little bit. We're definitely missing paint detail on the helmet. Like I said, little things you can add. I mean, not that you should have to add to the figure, but it's an easy fix for people who care. So the little paint applications, I'm not going to be too critical of. The sword looks good. It's got the basic 2 colors that it should have. Who knows how well this paint's going to stay on the handle. It looks like, oh, look, I can already see. I don't know if you guys can see this on camera. Hold on, let me try to get in a position. It looks like there are parts. Let me see if I can get it to reflect. There's one right here. Oh, there's more here. As I turn this, I can see silver. So I'm thinking it might be silver all the way through. Ooh, I'm hoping not, because this red paint's going to peel off with kids putting this in and out of there. And you're going to end up with that paint on the fingers. And I don't know. It just looks like that. I'm not sure. That's really weird about the coin, though. The morphing function works fine. I'm not happy about this articulation. I'm just not. I can't do a side kick. Oh, that's bugging me. I want to just lift his leg up and do a side kick, but I can't, because I got to turn this down or up, and then I have to turn this way, and then I have to adjust this leg for how I want him to stand just to get into that pose. Then if I want to put it back down, you got to turn these, turn this back around and this forward, boom, to go back to fighting. Who wants to do that? Who wants to go through all that just to do one basic pose and go back just to do a side kick? And then all I can do is put his arms up and down. I don't know. I really don't think, I don't know, guys. I'm trying to keep this just about the reviews of the figures, but my opinions about the toy line are just coming out. So far, I have seen a lot of 30 to 40-year-old people very excited about these, right? Once again, wasn't made for us, but like I said, guess in my other videos, who's going to be the ones that are buying these? The parents that liked this stuff and remember it and want to share it with their kids, right? They're the ones that are going to buy it. Now, naturally, any toy you buy and put in front of a kid, they're going to play with it for a little bit. I mean, it doesn't matter what it is, whether they've even heard of it before or not. But how long is this going to hold their interest? You know, without the show being the big hit thing on TV right now, I don't know about the success of this toy line. I was hoping it would be at least, you know, fun to play with, even if it didn't look, you know, super show accurate and all this good stuff. I was hoping it'd at least be fun to play with. And I don't think it is. And look, his knee doesn't even bend. Are you kidding me right now? Why are these not bending? That should be the front, right? Oh my goodness. Okay. You kind of had to break it in. That one finally. Ugh. All right, now they're bending. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I mean, I could really put this to the test and throw it to my 7-year-old and see how long it lasts with heavy play. But I can pretty much already tell you these are going to break. All right, but there's Red Ranger. Here's Red Ranger from Hasbro. Like I said, just for comparison. And then we've got original OG Red Ranger. Mine from when I was a kid. I have many of these, but this is actually the one that I had as a child. Still in pretty good shape. Still withstood the test of time. There's all the head sculpts. Once again, as far as sizes go, these new ones are the tallest. The old ones being the shortest. All right, let's move on to blue. All right, here we go. Packaging, once again, the same. We got Billy in there. We got the power lances, blaster, blade form. Let's go ahead and tear this open. All right, here we've got Billy. Now, Billy's head sculpt, man, his head sculpt actually looks really good, which is ironic because it's wrong. Billy does not have his glasses. Where is Billy's glasses? This is supposed to be OG Season 1 Billy that all the kids with glasses looked up to and wanted to be. All right, where's your glasses, Billy? This ain't Season 2 yet. You're still fighting Rita back in Season 1. So that's my first critique about that. Now the head sculpt does look good, I have to say. It looks pretty good, but his glasses are missing. Same thing with the articulation, exactly the same. More with the, I don't know if maybe this was intended. I can maybe understand, let me see if I can show you guys. There are these lines up and down in the white paint. I don't know if you guys can see those. Maybe they're intended to make it look more like the suit. I'm not sure. But once again, this squiggly, jagged cutout around the diamond doesn't look very good. Looks kind of sloppy. But that's just me. Probably being overcritical. Well, here we got some paint. So we got the boot right here. Got some paint issues. Let's see here. Once again with the power coin, it almost looks like the dragon foot for the Green Ranger. You guys see that indentation raised up? I don't know if, I don't know. But it looks very much, they all kind of look like that. The helmet, once again, too small. Let's take a look at Billy's power lances now. Oh, well, look at that. It's bent. Great. The power lances do go together. Do they? Do they go together? They're obviously supposed to. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Well, they do go together. I don't know how long that peg's going to last with a kid doing this, because that's not easy to do. But I guess we'll see. All right, the lances look good. The molds look decent. The coloring is there. The basic two colors. I like the fact that they go together and they come apart. How easy are these to put in Billy's hands? Pretty easy. The fingers are, they're kind of rubbery. They got a little bit of give to them. This leg thing is annoying me. Can't even do a basic standing pose. All right. Well, I mean, you can. It's just once you twist those. All right, so here we have Billy. Once again, overall, the torso's too big, okay? But it doesn't look as bad as the Hasbro ones. He comes with the blade blaster in blade form and blaster form. We've already seen those. All right, and that is Billy. Let's go ahead and take a look at Zach. All right, before I rip this open, here's Zach real quick in the packaging. Power axe looks good. The two basic colors it needs. All right, here we have Zach. Same thing with those three marks. I take it that's intentional to make it look like some stretching of the actual suit. I can live with that, that's fine. But the cutout, like I said, of the diamond around it just looks a little sloppy. Let's take a look at Zach's power coin here. Now it's got a bunch of red paint, unfortunately, in the middle, and they smeared a bunch of red up here into the black. I don't know if you guys can see that, but his actually has a little resemblance of the Macedon. So yeah, the coins, I mean, I don't really care about that. It's not really pronounced enough to really tell a difference either way anyways. But we got some more smearing of black paint on the white belt. A little bit of overspray or maybe underspray of white, I don't know. On the boot right here, boots over here too, kind of sloppy. As far as like the paint applications go, a bunch of these indentions in the black, but you know, whatever. The helmet is too small again. Let's take a look at Zach's head sculpt here. Zach's hair is a little messed up right there. I mean, overall, doesn't look bad. I mean, it could look better, but it's not terrible. I don't get too critical on these head sculpts unless they are just completely off the wall terrible. I do want to go back to Tommy here though, because one thing I want to point out about Tommy is how much lighter his skin is than than the others. Now Jason's a little closer to the color of his skin, but for some reason Tommy just looks super pale. I mean, that's really my only critique with it. I'm not going to be too critical of it, but his skin color is just super pale compared to the other ones, and I'm not sure why. But all right, back to Zach. Same articulation. Man, it's really hard. You're going to have to pre-bend these for your kids if you get them for your kids, because they're going to snap these things right off trying to force it. All right, let's take a look at Zach's Power Axe. Looks good as far as the colors and everything. It's got the two basic colors. What really gets me about this is this had like the basic molding you would think to make the Power Blaster, right? But the fact that these weapons don't go together to make the Power Blaster, that's kind of inexcusable to me. Now, where there's a will, there's a way. I'm going to find a way to make these make the Power Blaster. I might do some tiny little drill a hole and put magnets in them, or whatever the case may be. That right there already kind of smashes together. But these right here have no pegs, no holes, no nothing. And I've seen pictures of the bow. Unless they changed it, I've seen pictures of the bow. There's no claws or clamps for this to go up into on the bow. And I don't know how the bow would connect to this. Now, like I said, I'm going to make it connect. But as a kid, the one thing you're going to want to do is combine their weapons to make the Power Blaster to finish off the monster in small form before he grows, right? The original ones did it. The Hasbro ones did it. Why could they not have done this? I don't understand that. I keep wanting to try and like figure out like, oh, this does slide. Oh, it might make the Power Blaster. It doesn't. It doesn't make the Power Blaster. I'm going to make it make the Power Blaster, but kids aren't going to be able to just throw this together, and make the Power Blaster. And that's kind of crazy to me. Why do away with that? That's so easy. A couple holes or a couple pegs or whatever. And man, not being able to combine these weapons, the terrible articulation decisions, the overall kind of bulkiness look, the small helmets. The only thing these have going for them is the smooth automorphin function. I mean, it is pretty smooth. I'll give credit where credit's due. It works. It's pretty smooth. Don't have to manually reset it. It works better than I feel like the Hasbro ones did as far as consistency and everything goes. But that's it. I feel like these would not be fun to play with. Now, if you're an adult and you just want to like share that experience with your kids, going to the store, seeing original Mighty Morphin stuff, getting a little bit of playtime out of it, I just feel like a kid's not gonna really want to play with this long term because of how limited it is on doing things. I mean, how much, oh no. Oh, there we go. How great. Well, the one praise I had for it, I don't know why Zach now. So Zach now keeps getting stuck. Durability, guys. Quality and durability is what's going to make or break this line, and I don't think that the odds are in its favor. With some of these decisions, the one thing I really liked about it now seems to be... there we go again. I don't know. That's for you guys to decide. I'm just trying to show you all the information I can about these toys. So we're going to go ahead and move on from the Rangers. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and show you a comparison with Zach right here. You've kind of seen the comparisons from the old, to the new, the scaling, the overall look of the torso. Once again, I think these look the best in terms of Rangers, while articulation is definitely in Hasbro's corner on this one. I feel like overall the original is still better. Never thought I would say this, but I think Hasbro is still a solid second because at least it's got the playability. And then third, I think these are probably the third best now, when I was hoping they would at least take second. But I don't know, that's just me. Let's go ahead and take a look at the thing I was most excited about with the actual figures, and that is Rita Repulsa. Here she is, guys. Rita Repulsa. Personally, I think she looks great in terms of what this toy line is, especially compared to, you know, the original Rangers. She is going to get displayed with my original Power Ranger monsters up there from the original toy line. Probably the other villains too, just because we never got an original putty either. But let's go ahead and take a look. Now, on the back here, okay, it looks like the story's the same. Rita, a powerful sorceress, was imprisoned by Zordon in space for 10,000 years. All right, it's got her story up there. Name, Rita Repulsa. Skill set, evil sorceress. Personality, world dominator. Okay, spot on. I'll give it to you. Weapon, magic wand, and sidekick, Goldar. Goldar's not really her sidekick. He is the general of her armies, but okay, whatever. Right here, so Rita does this thing. Her arm goes up and down. You put the little thing on it like she's like shooting lightning out of her hand. Or you can just put her staff in her hand and she can wave it up and down, whatever. That doesn't bother me a bit. Love it. All the old villains had like those little action features or something to them. But yeah, Rita here, I'm definitely going to pick up another Rita for my sealed collection, but we're going to open this one and take a look. All right, guys, here she is. Her legs are even independent in here. It's not just like a solid little mold. Her dress right here has some give to it. It's like a hard rubberized plastic. Oh man, Rita looks great. Here's her magic wand. It's got all the basic coloring, not just two colors, but several on there. It looks good. We've got the little lightning effect. So the lightning effect kind of goes in her hand here. I'll be honest with you, that's not going to stay on there. But she's got her lightning effect, and then she can, yeah, and start shooting lightning. So that's pretty cool, but let's go ahead and get her wand in her hand. Now her hands, no, I was going to say maybe they feel a little harder, but they've got a little give to them. Her wand goes in her hand pretty good. She can stand here with her wand. She can raise her wand up and down. Oh man, this right here, this was worth the whole toy line. Say what you want, critique what you want. And I know a lot of people probably give us older, like, you know, people commenting on this toy line flack because, you know, it's not made for you. Whatever, I don't care. I will say hands down right now, this is an amazing toy. This right here, excellent. Excellent job, Playmates. If this fails, if these figures right here fail, then let them fail, okay? No more Rangers, keep giving me villains, just like this. Villains, and hopefully your role-playing items are good. The Morpher, I'll be doing the Morpher video next. I've got the Blade Blaster coming. The masks are coming. I got the Green Ranger mask, should be here tomorrow, she said. Hopefully those things are good, and hey, if this right here doesn't work out, don't sweat it, okay? No more of this automorph and stuff. Hopefully your articulated figures of what I'm calling your collector's line. I could be wrong about that, but I think those are more what's going to be geared toward the collectors. At least what's going to appease the collectors more, so stick with those. But this right here is excellent. I hope all of your villains are similar to her because you did an amazing job on Rita. I mean, she just looks great. The only thing really to compare her to, because we didn't get a Rita in the original toy line, they haven't done many villains like this for other releases of toy lines for the Power Rangers. We did get this little Rita with Power Rangers Samurai. This thing is a monstrosity. It's terrible. Yeah, I wasn't even going to bother digging out my opened one for comparison because there is no comparison. This is complete garbage. That it is what it is. But this right here looks amazing. I have to grab, hold on guys, I have to grab a Goldar and a Lord Zed from my original line real quick just so we can compare these to each other. All right, and there it is. She looks great. She looks absolutely great with the other figures. Zed is just a tiny bit taller than her, just like it should be. Goldar, he is kind of in a little pose. He's about the same size in regards to height. But yeah, I mean, this just looks great. I'm sure everybody's going to have different opinions. Mine's got a little smudge right there on her forehead, but she looks amazing. Rita is a huge win. A huge win. If we get just a couple wins like Rita out of this toy line, I mean, awesome. Her legs do move all the way around, left and right. As you can see, her legs go all the way up in there. It's actual legs, nothing crazy, like just a little stem or something like that. Her outfit looks good. I think even her face looks good. Her head actually moves and does some different, it goes up and down, side to side. Her arms move in. Her shoulders, oh, okay, so they gave Rita, look, Rita actually has ball joint shoulders. And she moves right here at the elbow. Does her hands move independently of the forearm? Rita has more articulation than the Power Rangers does. Does her torso move? It sure does, guys. It spins all the way around. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Such a huge win is Rita Repulsa here. Amazing. Get your hands on a Rita. Absolutely amazing. All right, guys, real quick, before we go, I was actually done with the video, had to run up to the store, and of course, after we can't find them and my wife ordered them for us, guess what our Walmart had, right? They had the Power Rangers Reignition toys. However, we noticed that the price of the toys was higher than what we've been seeing and what we paid. They are now pretty much 13 bucks a piece. And then my wife goes online on her phone to look, and they also updated the price online from $10.86 is what we paid for those figures online just yesterday. And now they are $12.98. So they have increased over $2 in a 24-hour period. Now, I don't know if that's going to be a lasting thing or what, but this is exactly what I predicted was going to happen. Back in the old video I made about this new toy line coming out, I knew that world economic happenings was going to have an effect on the initial price that they released. Because if I'm not mistaken, they said the figures, the automorphin figures and the villains would be around the $9.99 price mark. If I'm not mistaken, I could be mistaken. I'm pretty sure that's what they were saying. So a $10 action figure, right? Which is what a lot of people were excited about. And then online, when we bought them, and what I was seeing from other pictures posted around, you know, the world of people that were finding them in stores, it was about $10.86, which wasn't bad, about $1 difference. Well, now they are $13 a pop. So yeah, guys, the price is going up on these. Also, I want to point out that I'm already seeing people, you know, scalpers, resellers, people are selling these items online on eBay, on Mercari, even on Facebook Marketplace for $20 to $30 per figure for these automorphin figures and villains, and $30 to $40 a piece for the Zords. Please don't pay those prices. I mean, a couple dollar increase, you know, for $12.98 still, you know, kind of stinks that the price is continuing to go up. However, guys, I feel like at least in the short term, these are going to be available. There was nobody looking at these. I saw 2 or 3 parents stop by and point out, they're like, oh, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. The kids wanted absolutely nothing to do with them. They walked right past them on down to the Legos and the Pokemon, and the shelf was completely full. It didn't look like a single item had been really taken out of the display piece at all. Now I'm sure there are going to be some people that buy these, but I feel like you're going to be able to get your hands on them for these lower retail prices. So don't pay those scalper reseller prices, all right? But I just want to point that out about the price. So hopefully you guys were able to find them for the $10. If not, I mean, $12.98 is still reasonable, but the price is going up, guys. So yeah, you've got that. So final thoughts, okay? Final thoughts on the Automorphin Rangers and the first of the villains. I think you're going to be disappointed in the Rangers. I think the durability is not going to be that great. I think kids probably aren't going to maintain an interest in these very long. There might be that initial enthusiasm or whatever the case may be. But unless your kids have 0 Power Ranger toys, you can't find Power Ranger toys, and you just want to share that with them and try to get them into it, introduce them to it as just kind of like a gateway. I really don't see these particular Power Ranger figures making much of an impact or having any kind of lasting appeal other than that, because the articulation's not great. I can see them breaking. My automorphin function even was messing up a little bit. The weapons don't make the power blaster. How can the weapons not make the power blaster? That's blowing my mind right now. But that articulation is just what's going to be the nail in the coffin, especially if they start breaking left and right. Can you imagine parents bringing these back in droves? Playmates, oh, that'd be hard for them to keep going if they're just getting mass returns left and right on these toys. But I don't know, only time's gonna tell. Guys, you tell me what you think about this stuff. I mean, Power Rangers doesn't rest on my shoulders. I'm just another fan, okay? Maybe people will really like them. Maybe kids will really like them. I'm just trying to give you an honest opinion and show you exactly what you're getting and what's going on with these new Power Ranger toys. I can tell you right now, my kids have 0 interest in these toys. They saw them when they came in, and they had no desire to even really grab it, look at it, or mess with it, because they've seen what else Power Rangers has to offer, the better figure lines and all that stuff, and they just didn't think these looked very good or very fun. So Rita Repulsa is the shining star of this toy line so far. She is just absolutely amazing. Go get yourself a Rita Repulsa. Hopefully the other stuff pans out. Like I said, I got more stuff coming, and we're going to review that. But we're already, I'm running over an hour on this video. Hopefully it'll be shorter after editing, obviously. But that's it, guys. That is the first initial taste of the Power Rangers Reignition line and my thoughts on it. Put your questions down below. I'll answer what I can. Let me know what you guys think about it. And until next time, everybody, I will see you next video.